"I'm not afraid to die, but my kids are hungry," said the Apache mother. Cowboy gave more than food. Maria Sanchez stands in Sheriff Dalton's office, her children's empty bellies driving her past fear into desperate honesty. Maria pushes through the sheriff's office door, her 3 young children clutching her skirt. No pleasantries, no setup. Sheriff Dalton. "Maria, what brings you?" "Food. My kids need food." "That's not really. I'm not afraid to die, but my kids are hungry." The sheriff's deputy, Jake Morrison, looks up from his desk. Something in Maria's voice stops all movement in the room. Sheriff Dalton sees the desperation, the way her hands shake but her voice stays steady. Maria's husband, Carlos, was found dead 2 weeks ago, officially an accident at the Carson Ranch. Unofficially, everyone knows Carlos saw something he shouldn't have. "What exactly are you asking for?" "Justice or food. I'll take either." "Maria, your husband's case is closed." "Then my children starve while Judge Carson's cattle eat." Deputy Morrison shifts uncomfortably. The Carson family owns half the county, including the judge. Maria's words hang heavy, not accusation, just truth. "There's nothing I can do about." "There's everything you can do, you just won't." Maria turns to leave, her children following like hungry ghosts. As Maria reaches the door, Deputy Morrison stands up. "Mrs. Sanchez, wait." Deputy Morrison offers more than charity. He offers something that could destroy them both. Maria stops. At the door, her hand on the handle, not turning around. "Mrs. Sanchez, wait." Morrison steps forward, his badge catching sunlight through dirty windows. "Jake, sit down." Sheriff Dalton's voice carries warning. "No, sir, I don't think I will." Maria turns, studying Morrison's face. Young, maybe 30, clean-shaven in a county where most men hide behind beards. "You got something to say? Say it." "Your husband, the night he died." "Jake," Dalton's voice turns sharp. "I was there, Mrs. Sanchez, at the Carson Ranch." Silence stretches like barbed wire between them. Maria's oldest child, Anna, maybe 8 years old, presses closer to her mother's side. "What did you see?" "Enough." "That ain't an answer." "It's the only answer I can give." "Here." Morrison glances at Sheriff Dalton, who has gone very still behind his desk. "But I got something for you. Tonight, after dark. I don't take charity. This ain't charity, this is—" He searches for words. "This is what's right." Maria looks at her children, then back at Morrison. "What kind of something?" "Food and information." "Information about what?" "About why your husband really died." Sheriff Dalton stands up slowly. "Deputy Morrison, I think you're overstepping." "With respect, Sheriff, I think I'm finally stepping where I should have stepped weeks ago." Maria nods once. "Where?" "By the old creek." Morrison reveals the truth about Carlos's death and the terrible choice Maria must now make. Morrison looks toward the window, toward the creek that runs behind town, the old crossing, where the creek bends. "You know it?" "I know it." Sunset. That evening, Maria walks alone to the creek. Her children are with her neighbor, Mrs. Chen, who asks no questions when children need watching. The water moves slow and dark, carrying the last light of day. Morrison emerges from the cottonwoods, leading a pack horse. "You came." "Said I would." He unloads supplies, flour, beans, salt pork, things her children haven't seen in weeks. This is what cowboys carry. Some of us. Maria doesn't touch the food yet. The information first. Morrison sits on a fallen log, suddenly looking older than his years. "Your husband saw Judge Carson and Sheriff Dalton moving something at night." "Moving what?" "Girls." "What girls?" "Young ones. From the reservation. From town. Girls who disappear. The creek keeps moving, but the world goes still around them. Carlos tried to stop it. Carlos tried to report it to the territorial governor. And And Judge Carson owns the territorial. Governor too. Maria sits down hard on the creek bank, so they killed him. Made it look like an accident, but I was there, I saw. Why didn't you stop it? Because I'm a coward, and because they would have killed me too. The honesty hits like cold water, but you're telling me now. Because watching your kids go hungry. He stops, starts again. Because some things matter, more than staying alive. Maria touches the sacks of food. This comes with strings. Everything does. What strings? Help me stop them. I'm one woman with 3 children. You're the only one who has nothing left to lose. The truth of that settles between them like stones in still water. What would I have to do? Be bait. Maria looks at the food, then at Morrison's face in the dying light. Tell me how. Maria agrees to Morrison's dangerous plan, but discovers the corruption runs deeper than either of them imagined. Morrison leans forward, his voice dropping to barely above the creek's whisper. Judge Carson has parties, private ones. Men come from 3 counties over. What kind of parties? The kind where girls don't come home. Maria's hands clench in her lap. How do you know all this? Because I used to work security for them. Before I got a conscience, the admission hangs between them like smoke. They trust you. They think they own me. Like they own everyone else in this county. But they don't. Not anymore. Morrison pulls out a folded paper from his coat pocket. Next party's in 3 days. They'll need a new girl. Someone desperate. Me. You. Maria studies the paper, an invitation written in elegant script. What happens after I'm inside? You find evidence, names, documents, anything that proves what they're doing. And if I get caught, then you disappear like all the others. The creek gurgles around stones worn smooth by time and water. Why? Should I trust you? You just said you used to work for them. Because I helped bury the last girl who tried to expose them. The words fall like stones into deep water. Maria looks up sharply. What? Sarah Crowfeather? 16 years old, Apache like you. She came to me 6 months ago, said she had proof. What happened to her? They made it look like suicide. Hung her from the old oak by the schoolhouse. Jesus. No Jesus in this county, Mrs. Sanchez. Just devils wearing badges. Maria stands up, pacing to the water's edge. You let them kill a 16-year-old girl. I let them kill a lot of people, including your husband. The honesty cuts like broken glass, clean and sharp. Why are you doing this now? Because I can't sleep anymore. Because I see their faces when I close my eyes. And because you think I'm expendable too. No, because I think you're the only one strong enough to survive what's coming. Maria looks at the supplies, then at Morrison. If I do this, if I get evidence, then what? Then we take it to someone who can't be bought. Who? The Apache reservation has its own law, and they've been waiting for proof. A coyote calls in the distance, answered by another across the valley. My children, we'll be safe. I give you my word. Your word? You just told me you're a coward and a killer. Yes, but I'm trying to be something else now. Maria picks up one of the supply sacks. 3 days? Maria infiltrates Judge Carson's party and discovers horrors worse than she imagined, but also finds an unexpected ally. Morrison nods. 3 days. I'll come for you tomorrow night. We need to make you look the part. 2 nights later, Maria stands before Judge Carson's mansion, wearing a borrowed dress that feels like a costume for her own funeral. Morrison waits in the shadows with a rifle and a prayer. The house blazes with warm light, but Maria feels nothing but cold. A man in a black suit answers the door. You must be the new girl. Yes, sir. Pretty. The judge likes pretty. Inside, men in expensive clothes drink expensive whiskey and laugh at expensive jokes. Maria moves through the crowd like a ghost among the living, searching for the doors Morrison told her about, the ones that lead to the basement. You look lost, dear. Maria turns to find a woman her own age, blonde and beautiful, wearing diamonds that could feed Maria's family for a year. I'm looking for Judge Carson. Aren't we all? I'm Mrs. Carson, Elizabeth. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. Don't apologize. I know what you are. The word should sting, but Elizabeth Carson's voice carries no judgment, only sadness. Ma'am, come. With me. Let's talk. Elizabeth leads Maria through a side door into a small parlor. How old are your children? How did you have the look, the desperate mother look. I had it once. Elizabeth pours 2 glasses of sherry, hands one to Maria. I know why you're here, and I know it's not what you think. Ma'am, I don't understand. My husband doesn't hurt the girls, Mrs. Sanchez. He sells them. The room tilts sideways. Sells them to who? Men who do things I can't say out loud, in cities far from here. Jesus Christ. He's not listening, hasn't been for years. Maria sets down her untouched sherry. Why are you telling me this? Because I've been watching you choose your children over your safety. I had children once. Had? They died. Fever. 3 years ago. The grief in Elizabeth's voice is older than the house they sit in. I'm sorry. Don't be. Be smart. There's a safe in my husband's study. The combination is my children's birth dates. Inside, you'll find everything you need. Why would you? Because maybe, if I save someone else's children, I can sleep at night. Footsteps in the hallway outside. Elizabeth's face changes, becomes the perfect society wife again. Act scared when he comes in. Men like my husband expect fear. Judge Carson enters, a tall man with silver hair and cold eyes. Elizabeth, dear, I see you've met our guest. She's very pretty, darling, very young. The younger, the better. For business. His hand falls on Maria's shoulder, heavy as a gravestone. Shall we go downstairs, my dear? I have some gentlemen who are very eager to meet you. Maria looks at Elizabeth, who nods almost imperceptibly. Toward the study door, Maria retrieves the evidence, but triggers a deadly confrontation that will decide everyone's fate. Maria forces fear into her voice. Yes, sir. Whatever you say. As Judge Carson leads her toward the basement stairs, Maria catches Elizabeth's eye one last time. The judge's wife creates a distraction, a dropped glass, a small commotion, giving Maria the seconds she needs to slip into the study. Her hands shake as she works the safe combination. The first set of dates don't work. Then she remembers. Elizabeth said birth dates, not death dates. The safe opens. Inside, ledgers, photographs, correspondence with officials in 3 states, names, dates, prices, girls reduced to inventory. Maria stuffs everything into her dress, her heart hammering against her ribs. Looking for something, Sheriff Dalton stands in the doorway, his gun drawn. I got lost. No, you got stupid. He steps into the room, closing the door behind him. Did Morrison really think this would work? Did he really think I wouldn't know? I don't know what you're... Cut the act. You're here for evidence. Well, here's some evidence. He pulls out a photograph. Carlos, beaten and bloody, still alive. In the picture, your husband's last moments, before we finished the job. The rage that rises in Maria is older than grief, deeper than fear. You bastard. Maybe, but I'm a rich bastard, and you're about to be a dead one. The study door explodes. Inward, Morrison, wild-eyed and desperate, tackles Dalton. The gun flies across the room as both men crash into the judge's desk. Maria, run! Not without you. Go! Gunshots in the hallway, men shouting, the perfect party dissolving into chaos. Elizabeth appears in the doorway, her white dress spattered. With blood, there's a back way, through the kitchen. What about Morrison? He's buying you time, don't waste it. Maria runs toward the kitchen as the sound of gunfire echoes through Judge Carson's burning mansion. In the aftermath, Maria discovers the true cost of justice and the unexpected legacy of courage. Maria bursts through the kitchen door into a cold night air. the stolen documents pressed against her chest like armor made of paper. Behind her, the mansion burns. 3 days later, Maria sits in the Apache tribal council chamber, watching as the evidence spreads across a long wooden table. Names, photographs, bank records. Enough to hang half the county government. Tribal Police Chief Joseph Crow Feather, Sarah's father, examines each document with the careful attention of a man who has waited too long for justice. This is enough. For what? To bring in the federal marshals to end this. Maria looks at the evidence that cost her husband's life, Morrison's life, and nearly her own. What about my children? They'll be safe. We have witness protection, new names, new places. I don't want new names. I want justice. You'll have both. 2 months later, Maria reads about the trials in a newspaper from 3 states away. Judge Carson, life imprisonment, Sheriff Dalton, execution. 6 other officials, various sentences. Her children play in a yard behind a small house in a town where no one knows their story. But Maria keeps something from the evidence pile. Morrison's badge, found in the mansion ruins. She holds it sometimes. In the evenings, when the children sleep, a knock at the door interrupts her thoughts. Elizabeth Carson stands on the porch, wearing simple clothes instead of diamonds, carrying a suitcase instead of secrets. I thought you might want to know. They found Morrison. Found him? He made it out, badly hurt, but alive. He's been asking about you. Maria stares at the badge in her hands. Where is he? Hospital in Denver. Says he has something that belongs to you. What? Hope. Maria looks at her children through the window, then at the badge, then at Elizabeth. I guess some cowboys do leave more than food behind. The sunset paints the sky the color of justice, slow, beautiful, and earned through fire.